understanding of technology so that I could get the chat thing in the main window. I don't know how it works. Apparently it's an app. Can someone tell me what is the Canyon Discord forum name thing? Crawler Canyon's super secret server, I think. Crawler Canyon all is one word. If I could figure out how to just pull a link to it, I think I can. I don't know. It's on the I think I put it in the on the like the info, the channel info. I think the Discord's on that. I think. I don't know. So we got like there's like 20 people. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a minute. I'm gonna wait for a few more people. Get a few more people in here. We've got stuff to do today. I'm not just gonna take a gearbox apart and then put it back together. Jetwaves checking in from the UK, where it's probably not 104. 104 freedom units. If it was 104 Celsius, we'd all be dead. It is indeed Canyon time. Wow. Andre Rosu member for 12 months in the most secret society. And that dude has handled out more than his fair share of memberships, which is where most of the money comes from. It's where the money came from to buy all of this nonsense that we're going to nonsense with today. Because, well, okay, here's what it comes down to. This is the live stream for July 26th. And I've definitely mentioned before that I get paid. I get my Google money. I get my sweet, sweet Google money on the 21st of every month. Unless the 21st is on a Sunday, then you get paid on the 22nd. But I blew through a chunk of that money and bought some stuff so that we would have some stuff to do today. I want to try your Cali mix on my Alaskan obstacle. What is your bag of cement to sand equation? Generally, if you're using plastic cement, Portland, I mix it a little richer. But if you're gonna do the blend with plastic cement, I do 8-to-1. I do 8 parts of whatever your fill material is to 1 part plastic cement. Oh yeah. Rice Krispie got it, but you can't. If it sees anything.com, .net, not on anything. And apparently, there's a way that I can like permit, like I can have moderation in the chat. But I have no idea. I don't know. Do I set that up on the Discord end? Do I set that up on the OBS end? I don't know how I set that up. So. Introduced a friend to the hobby yesterday, only rolled twice and tried to run me over once. Nice. Spread the disease, as I say, spread the disease. Yeah, it's crazy that channel memberships have been out for, well, I started them at the beginning of 2023, so we're like a year and a half. We're over a year and a half already. Most of them are bought by just a handful of you for other people, but that's fine. That's fine. I went on Amazon, and Amazon is really contributing to my delinquency. I will be cutting rails for the Jeep build, for the Willys build. But other than that, like, Amazon exists. So this is not for today. I made an executive decision. I was gonna ask. There are 2 builds that I'm looking at, and I was gonna say choose between them, and then I was like, no, we got to put some links together. So I chose the other one, not this one. This is the chassis that Yella is built off of. That's a Stealth X. The whole chassis kit was like $53 with the sliders, with the skid, with all the little attachment pieces. And right now you can get a Stealth X on Amazon for like $55. So I mean, I can't even complain about manufacturers need to give us more kits. Who cares? At this point, who cares? You can get AliExpress axles, not even AliExpress, get Mias nylon, right? Mias nylon for $80. You'd have all the, links for 20, so that's 100. So at $200, you've got gearbox, chassis, links, and axles. Then you've drive shafts and electronics. So legitimately, like, you can build a rig from nothing for $400. So, which is why, where did I put it though? I hung it on a hook. I started grabbing parts out of the bins and slapping together the stock chassis, stuff that's not being used. There's like 40% of a 10 Pro bolted to the stock rails. I've got a full 10.3 chassis and a complete VS410 chassis. So, I mean, even if you're buying a kit, you're going to get rid of like 60% of it. So, I mean, I'm just telling everybody now. Yeah, TRX4 portal clones on AliExpress for $50. You can get Capra clones on AliExpress for $50. For me, there's a definite convenience level to being able to pick up a set of Mias nylons for $80, and they take Vanquish parts mostly. Do you run a Phoenix link set with the Mias axles? Are they clone enough? You can. I tend to run. You know, y'all know me. I bought another one. RC Lions, $17. The high clearance link set, RC Lions stainless steel link rod linkage. I think it said I've bought 9 of these. So I'll throw, that's what's under the Twins. It's what's under Scarlet. It really doesn't, the wheelbase comes out to within about a 5 to 10 millimeter range. But yeah, you can use Vanquish links. You can use pretty much whatever. It's just, the only problem is if you already have a body and it's already drilled, it might move the tires further back than you want. That's why I have drawers upon drawers of rod ends. This is where I make my adjustments. I have the Jado ends, I've got the Revo ends, I've got Element ends, I've got TRX4 ends, and I choose the ends not specifically because I love that end, but rather because I want to get a link 5 millimeters longer or 5 millimeters shorter. So I do that. 40's enough. We're officially started, I will say. So also Amazon, and also I want to say about $50. We'll see. This was the explanation of the title, an analogous genre mashup. Because we're going to Frankenstein today. We're going to put stuff together and we're going to make something out of it. Is that the link set where all 8 links are bent? Mad Scientist Makers, yes it is. Yeah, all 8 are high clearance. So we're going to Frankenstein, and we're going to Frankenstein off of these rails. Someone in there, I'm sure, knows who this is a clone of, who they cloned to make these. I know that they are very inexpensive. You know what? I gotta look it up. I don't want to misquote myself and be like, oh, this was like $40, because I see it all the time. I see it in reviews. Oh, this was only this many dollars. No, it wasn't. Tax occurs, shipping charges occur, all of these things occur. So when I tell you what this cost, I want to tell you what it cost. That's not it. There it is. The RC Huiwao. It looks okay. All right. I cobbled some links together to fit this. Very Frankenstein-y. Didn't even bother to make sure that they're the correct lengths. Just trying to get the wheelbase. Yeah, $55. This was $54.99 on the good old Amazon, and it comes with it's like full. So servo mount and battery tray, body mounts, chassis braces. No, I think these are the body mounts. These are the chassis braces. These are the body mounts. It even has it has a singular sheet of paper which has blown, the fans have blown onto the ground, which show you how to put it together. I think it uses TRX4 body mounts. Front bumper. There should be a panhard mount in here somewhere. Bumper mount for the rear. Comes with screws, which I have not analyzed the. I can't do it. My fingers are too big. Yeah, graded. 12 nines, graded. So graded hardware, lock nuts, screw pins, burying the lead again. So we're Frankensteining. We're going to use whatever we have. I'm shooting for chassis mount steering on this. I'm looking through all these bags for the panhard mount, which is clearly shown in the pictures, but I'm not seeing the panhard mount in any of these. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I am seeing the panhard mount. It's right here. Oh, yeah. So we're Frankensteining, but we're also making a zombie. So we're making Is Frankenstein's monster a zombie? But by definition, like how do we define a zombie? Oh, those are the servo mounts. Okay, yeah, it was there a whole lot of time. Yeah, panhard, aluminum panhard, lay down servo. I was like, dang. And the zombie part of this, the zombie part of this is, so it comes with a gearbox. They claim that with the included pinion, which is a little, I think it's a 9-tooth. They claim with the included pinion, it's 10.5 to 1 total for the gearbox, which is that's not a huge amount of reduction, but it's fine. I mean, on where is it? I mean, on this, the spur to pinion ratio is almost 5 to 1. And then you've got 2.6 on the inside. So do the math. What is that? 13 to 1. So 10.5 to 1 is not bad. It's something that I would prefer to pair with portals, but rather we are going to pair it with straight axles. Mary Shelley just called it a monster. It's more of a golem that was given a soul. Oh, okay. Yeah, golem, a collection. Yeah, it was built out of parts, right? To me, a golem always started like it was a, what was it, a simulacrum? It was like built out of sticks and mud. That's where golems started. Anyway, we are building a zombie because that's the Famanda gearbox I talked about. Oh yeah, one showed up from AliExpress. I didn't remember who sent it. Oh yes, I'm glad that Jimbo pointed this out. So these are the same gearbox, mostly. So this is where China does their thing. This is the gearbox that came with whatever this chassis is. This is the gearbox that was sent in from AliExpress. It's a clone of the Deluxe Minimal. I gotta kill an ant right here. Squish, squish. I had mentioned on Discord a couple days ago the ant problem. Yeah, it's still here. This to adjust your to set your pinion mesh. This is pretty great. I over tightened it. Hold on. It's got a little threaded plug, little threaded acrylic plug with a seal on it. So that threads on, and you can. Oh, we're gonna go camera 2 for this. So you can like look how easy it is to set your mesh. So we've already got an advantage over the OD3 right there. The OD3 has an advantage in, geez, I don't know. The OD3 on this one definitely gearboxes that are designed for an outrunner. And that's where so, okay, while we're down here on the low one. So a threaded acrylic plug that threads in. Don't thread it in as tight as I did. You don't need to. You just need to get it to where the washer is snug and you're good. Right about there. Okay. The other one, as you can see, it has the same window, but the window is just a flat pane attached with 2 set screws. This one has some little lightning done to it, and when you hold them in the hand, boy howdy, I don't know if this camera will show it well enough. Yeah. See in there? See the coved out gear? This gearbox has lightened gears in it. This gearbox just has straight cut gears in it. Also graded black oxides. They opted for stainless with this one. This one has a longer output on the front, and they've done some sort of nickel or chrome plating on the shafts. This guy is just stainless, and as you can see, we have a big differential in the shaft lengths. Yeah, so they're the same thing, right? They're the same thing, but they're not the same thing. They're definitely the same idea. When you smash an ant like that, they release pheromones that attract more ants. That's fine. That's fine. I'm killing probably an ant a minute. And they're everywhere, and they're idiots. I ate one earlier today. I have been I refill these water bottles over and over and over again. And it went like this, and he climbed up, and I mainlined that ant. They have kind of like a zingy sweetness to them. Like kind of sweet, but also kind of not tart. Like more like licking a battery. Like, if you licked a sweet battery, that would be what it's like. So, yeah, so the pinion is one of those guys that's just, it's all teeth all the way down. It might be an 8. Yeah, it's an 8. 8 tooth. So they're getting that 10.5 out of an 8 tooth. So the reduction in the box itself is not going to be substantial. How are the toes doing? I mean, they are fantastic. Unless I hit them on anything. Did you gain ant strength? Maybe a little? Like, how much ant strength would you gain from one ant? How big are the ants? There's got to be one on the bench. They're everywhere. Next time I see one, instead of smashing him, I'll pick him up. And they're just Argentines. That's what we have in incredible numbers. So, what? Okay, all right. Before we get into all of this, that'll keep us occupied. I cobble-bodged links together. So these, let me get them straight. So we only have one front upper, and it's fairly long. Here are the front lowers, which are pretty typical in length. 110s, so not particularly short. For the rear uppers, for the rear lowers, these are tie rods. I'm using a pair of tie rods with what Jado links. These are like 165s, and then I did manage to just get some high clearance long enough. I just kind of mocked it up. So I don't know how, these are 150s. So 150s and 165s seems about right. They don't have hollow balls in them yet because I don't know what we're going to need in the axles. I don't know. For the axle mounting side, the way this skid works, you can use whatever hollow ball you want. So on that side, I'll just use 7s. They go in like this. They just pass through. Actually, the gearbox goes like this. They just pass through the gearbox, and then that's where your lower link mount goes. It's kind of, I've never really seen that approach. I guess I'm fine with it. HVOT hasn't done the spreadsheet, so he's skipping the stream tonight. JK, he can't make it. Don't know why yet. Oh, yeah. Psycho Garage, right over there. I found the thing of stickers on the bench. It didn't get lost for 2 weeks like Irwin's stickers did. Brandon asks if I have any Canyon stickers left. I gotta move some electrical tape out of the way. I just hang them on the tape, so I got a couple. I got a couple. Just a few. No, I'm being facetious. I have 1,500 Canyon stickers left. Maybe 1,600. because it was cheaper to get 2,000 than it cost less to buy 2,000 stickers than it did to buy 1,000 stickers. That is that's an economy of scale that I can't quite get my head around, but here we are. Oh, we're dropping frames like bombs right now. And I restarted and everything. I'm not being rewarded. Stretching the front for 320. No. No. I mean, we'll see. But when I measured it and mocked it up, the wheelbase was like 310. I think it's because look how close the link mounts are for the lowers. They're 40 millimeters apart. I guess 40 millimeters apart is pretty normal. Wow. Look at that skid size differential. 3 bolts also. We'll see where it ends up. Oh, yeah. And this chassis, I think it was sold as an AMK. It just says LCG. They give you one sheet of paper. But look at this. M3x8, M3x14, M3x18, M3. Thank you. Thank you, makers of this knockoff chassis. Because that's all I need to know. Just give me the screw lengths, and where to put those screw lengths. All right. We'll do it like this. Here's what we go. Here's how we're going. A box came in the mail, and I thought to myself, do I want to go through the hullabaloo and the rigmarole of moving stuff around to test these, or, man, an ad was coming up already. We've been going for 26 minutes. So I guess that's actually not that bad. So a box showed up. It's got addresses and stuff on this side, so we're opening it backwards. I thought to myself, do I want to go through all the work of moving everything around, or should we just order some pieces and build a rig specifically to test these, and then we will turn the zombie into something else? Oh man, I am scattered like dust in the wind. That's all we are, man. Dust in the wind. Zombie. Let me finish the other analogy, the zombie analogy. This is a Three Brothers 2000 kV yellow jacket. This yellow jacket was in a buddy of mine's TRX4, LCG TRX4. This motor got real hot. Like, it made the smell. But, and he goes, here, you can take it. It definitely feels like it lost a little bit of magnet, but I think it's still going to work. So that motor is what I would classify as a zombie. We need a servo to run on this thing. So, what better than the OMG, which, if you all remember, when it went on the servo test on the rig, it made some real weird noises where it sounded like it exploded, but it still works. So definitely qualifies as a zombie. So we've got zombie motor, we've got zombie servo, and because I don't want to speak ill, because I think that I consider that chapter closed, this is not a Rhino V40. This is a Holmes Crawlmaster V. This is a Holmes Crawlmaster V3. Let me take you on board. I took this thing. This is supposed to be in the bug build, the little bugger, the V1B in the bugger build. I tried this speed control with 3 different radios, 4 different motors, a handful of different servos, and I could not get it to work. With some servos, as soon as you would depress the trigger to try to give it any throttle, the servo would go. I sent a video to the gentleman that owns the bugger, and I was like, "This is what it do." Finally, found just an I rebound a brand new R6F, plugged into that, tested it with a flash hobby, and it worked. It didn't glitch out. But I'm still very scared. Oh, yes, on the little bugger, he sent in a Rhino V40. I changed nothing at all. Pulled this out, plugged the V40 in, and it worked flawlessly. Just like that, with all of the same componentry. If I take this and put it in that little bugger hanging up over there, it goes insane. It goes insane. When it sits, it goes. I tried it with brand new servos fresh out of the bag, and it would still do it. So all I can conclude is that the BEC in here is just enough power to power a receiver, and if there's any more draw than that, it can't handle it. So we are going to I got to classify it as a zombie because to be analogous again, you've got item of choice, whatever it is. Once that thing begins failing regularly or fails to a point that stops working, and then you don't do anything and it starts working, I call it corrosion of confidence. Like, if this is the speed control that it's in the rig that I'm going to take out somewhere to go crawl somewhere, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be that one. I'm going to take something with a Fusion Pro in it because I know there's basically nothing that can go wrong with it. So corrosion of confidence exists as a triumvirate. We've got the triangle of corroded confidence in an overheated motor, a Crawlmaster V3, which is sketchy out of the bag, and that OMG, which basically died on the servo tester, but doesn't know that it's dead. So it just keeps on keeping on. So we're just here to put this thing together. There's no saying that we won't change it all out in the future, you know. But for today, Frankenstein builds a zombie for the somewhat explicit purpose of testing that. Ooh, there's a letter. Thank you for being. And by the way, I haven't seen him in the chat. This is Nautical's. Nautical is on a boat in the South China Sea right now, so he had them shipped to me, and then he said I can give it a look over a test or what have you, and then we'll ship it on to him back when he's on land. Thank you for being one of the first to experience Sparc Drive, the most advanced RC crawler axle in the world. I'm sorry, most advanced crawler axle in the world. We believe the technology inside this box is a real game changer, not only for the world of RC crawling, but for other motorsports as well, and it all starts with these 1/10 scale axles. As we grow our operations, we plan to carry a full lineup of accessories and replacement parts for the SA10 series axles. Rest assured that our axles are designed to allow end-user service and replacement of all major components. As a pre-order customer, your early confidence in our new technology means the world to us. Hey, they stole my line. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you need a replacement part, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'll do my best to assist you. My contact info is below. And we gotta show this out. We gotta show this if the camera will pick it up. Too white. We gotta go to camera 2. Getting that white balance right. Look at right there. Look at that. You can see the depression. Real pen, everybody. Real pen. They didn't print it out. That dude signed it. I don't know. It doesn't mean nothing, but it means something, right? Yeah, talking about the Crawlmaster, I don't know. I had a Crawlmaster V2 explode in seconds after wiring it up, and they basically said that I didn't know what I was doing. So we're gonna do the thing. We're gonna do the thing. Ooh. Original, authentic, has a little serial number on it. Still dropping frames. Yeah, Lumpkin, you're absolutely correct. Oh, there. Come here. Just an Argentine. They're everywhere. I think I heard him though. I think I cut him too deep, Jimmy. I'm not worried about it. High dollar signature. Yeah, I definitely. Holy. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. Fly with me and you'll see something I was not expecting. Oh my God. Oh my God. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Now, I've said that I'm not even going to try to say fair and balanced, right? It's impossible. Subjective judgment is human nature, right? So what I will say is I try not to preconceive. Nevertheless, my sweet Lord. Okay, again, I'm trying not to prejudge. They should have built something for a portal. I can't. Like, actually, I'm at a loss. Here's the thing. You have to look at things with some perspective of ROI. So this axle, this is a hodgepodge. We've got SSD brass on the out. We've got a Trial brass cover. We've got a servo and axle mount. We've got it's the black. I think this is an SE housing, but we've got C hubs off of a. I'm gonna draw more ants in close. This front axle weighs 370 grams, which is not explicitly heavy. I would consider that to be somewhere in the mid range. Oh, I could put an SSD cover on that one and just go all SSD on that axle. These will be the axles. Some combination of axles built out of element parts will likely fit on this after we've removed the spark drive. So now, mind you, this axle is laden with brass to get to 370 grams. It has to be in the neighborhood of, there's got to be close to 200 grams of brass on here. So, like half of it in brass. This is the Sparc front axle. It's 295 grams. It's almost 300 grams. What concerns me is, okay, we have some small concerns. So we're using a generic CVD. So we're not using the universals that get us the real high angle, that get us that crazy amount of steering. So like look at our angle right there. That's all the way, that's hitting. So we're hitting the panhard mount. I have a lot of questions. I have more questions now after opening the box than I had before I opened the box. They 3D printed the C-hub. What? Why not just use these? Why not just use Element C-hubs? They 3D printed the link mounts. Why not just use the included link mounts? I am most concerned, son, I am concerned about, okay, you can't run servo and axle, because it's 4 holes straight across, and this is how SOA mounts go. There's like 4 in an arc. There are 4 straight holes, but I mean, I guess you could chop it. You can't run servo and axle unless they're going to offer servo and axle as an option. This pumpkin area this is before we get into this is before we even get into the wiring, because do you see what I'm saying? All right, this is something I don't know. I feel like it comes with replacement C-hubs and 1 replacement knuckle. So I don't know why they bothered to print these outers unless the bearings in here are a different size. No, they look like 10 by 15s. That is just, okay, so I wanted to check to make sure we weren't bottoming out. Like we weren't hitting a screw or something. There's definitely a lot of like, I mean, my lead among my worries is not the quality of the 3D print. There's a lot of, like, these could be molded. They printed these on slow, and they printed these. This has got to be like that carbon, what is it, PETGCF? It's super rigid, but that's full lock. That's as far, and it's bottoming out on the CVD neck. I don't think that's 45 degrees. No. It's not. 40-ish degrees. Somewhere in that area. Let's look at the big rear chunker. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, I'm like, you go, girl. 3D print the whole thing. But, like, there are parts here that didn't... God, the size of it is just unbelievable. Yeah, it has to... will it use magics to steer? It has to. You don't need that much turn. It can tank turn. Yeah, that's the thing. I have to... I am making efforts not to prejudge the performance because we haven't seen it. But at the same time, that is... I mean, it's immense. The gear train and the axle should help with the steering angle. Still, it's illegal for comps. I mean, I feel like they're certainly not aiming at comp people with this. I don't explicitly know who they're aiming at. Props on the packaging. Props on the packaging, though. Like, you can see the magnets inside the lid. Looks tiny in the banana fingers. Okay. So we have to do banana for scale. Element rear, Sparc rear. Wild. Also, they use a long They use a long delete like an AR-44. So it's a bit more of a, so it's like an element front axle, but it's like an AR-44 rear axle. So we hybridized it. And assumption, I agree 100%. From the packaging, the letter, the look of it. Let's take a look at. Okay, not too bad. They're just showing you how to mount it on an element. The first 4 pages are just how to remove your factory axles, pretty much. Position the Sparc. Does they say Sparc drive across the top? No. It's a bummer. Well, they are early. I guess the future plans are it'll say Sparc drive across the top. They don't now. No. Call it moose. Yeah, never. It's mahoosive. Yeah, never seen them side by side. Yeah. It's unsettling. That's so big. And they're 300 plus grams. So I thought to myself, who are we going to pick out of the fleet that's running like element axles and go through all the work of removing their element axles just to drive it for 15, 20 minutes and then put it all back together again. So I thought, I got a better choice. Let's just build a rig, put it on those axles. Oh yeah, so I can do that now. We can drop a caliper on it, so I know what size. I think that there's 7.5. Should be 7.5. So we'll just do. Oh, I don't even need a tie rod. Sweet, I built one, but I don't need it. All right, we'll just pop 7.5s all the way around for ease and clarity. Put them on JunkBot. I can't, as it was pointed out, banana hands. I gotta find my tweezers so that I can get, this is how I have to get hollow balls out. This is enthralling. I only need to get like 16 of them, is all. We'll break it up. I'll get enough to get the lower links on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Give me one more. Give me one more. Thank goodness. I think it's SOR Graphics on A-Main that they sell 25 packs of hollow balls. When I feel like everybody else is selling. Oh, here's 10. What am I going to do with 10? Hey. Oh, there's a nautical over there. Jeff at the Temple got the gifted membership. The circle of crawling continues. You're supposed to add a magnet on the tip of your finger, then you can get screws out of the container. Yeah, but then you get all the screws out of the container. I'm just looking for like one at a time. I didn't even look closely enough in the container to make sure I was using the same type of rod ends. I know I'm not. These have that little, there's like a little ring at the bottom, and these don't. So they're close enough. They're close enough. That is stuff for future me. Future me will figure that out. Yeah, I kind of agree with Bouncing Noise. I think for that price, it should not just perform as good as things we know. It has to be a whole new level. Yeah. Also, to accept a pumpkin the size of a washing machine, it's got to do something. It's got to do something that makes you go, that's a thing I've not seen before. And I don't know if we're going to get there. Clearance issues aside. And then my general unwillingness to murder other people's nice things. So I don't want to cram Nautical's very expensive axles into the ground. So we're going to be doing, you know, stuff where I think this can be. I mean, Slick Rock and the Staircase are two locations where I think these will really be shown to whether or not they're doing the thing at all. So that's where we're going to start from. Oddly, no skirts, no sliders, no none of that on here. It's just how they came. I think chassis side they actually want 7s, but it's too late. We've already committed, so it's getting 7.5s. Yeah, anything you see in the live stream, I either have to undo, redo, undo, then redo. That's just the way it is. Nothing has ever been built on the live stream bench and then gone out and touched the rocks. Yeah, I want 7s for sure. But the beauty of a chassis that comes all in a quote unquote kit is I don't have to worry really about anything. If the pinion angles are bad, that's fixable. I have a small wish list for the day, which is the dream would be we can make this thing move. We can make it scooch. Maybe we can make a tank turn on the bench. Tank turn on the bench. There's the goal. The goal of the day, tank turn on the bench. Oh, that's too short. Oh, you know what? Let's just get the whole shabazz out. Susan will hold that for us. Oh yeah, or I can just use 20s. That's the thing as well. What did I miss? Who's getting best wishes to their sister? What did I miss? Please shout out my sister Lisa, who is at the time fighting for her life with her brain bleed. Jeez. Don't, you know what? You know what, Lisa? Don't let him. You go out on your terms, not theirs. So, yeah. Fight him. That's my response to everything. I don't think I have a flight instinct. So don't have a flight instinct, Lisa. Fight. Doesn't even matter what it is. Even if you kind of believe in it, fight it anyway. I did not check the angle that those needed to sit. We're going to find out. I eyeballed everything here. I'm starting to think I have one eye bigger than the other and one arm shorter than the other, as the eyeball is getting less and less accurate. And 18. Wow, I at the very least appear to have put the hollow balls in the right order. We're gonna go back and forth here for a minute. Okay, that nut is cursed. Another one. Do-do-do-do. I think, I gabbed and did minimal work for, a while. But I don't think it's overly optimistic to think we could get to a tank turn. In your opinion, which springs are the best in the Desert Lizards for a 7 to 8 pound Phoenix with stock shock mounts? So I run them. Let me find a Desert Lizard. So whenever possible, if possible, even if I have to use O-rings or whatever, I try to run my Desert Lizards upside down. And I will run the very short spring below the piston and the medium length one above the piston, both in the softest rate. Because the heavier rates, the only rig I have fitted with Desert Lizards that are running anything other than the softest rate is Jolly Green. He runs the medium rate short ones at the bottom. But I just run soft all the way around. Soft. I don't do full droop with the big spring and no spring below the piston. I like it with the medium spring above with them upside down and the short spring below. Oh, Nautical's already he's already back to the sea. Okay, so on these uppers, I'm just going to use 7s. I have a lot of 7s. Boy, there's not a lot to this rig. Okay, no. Oh, I just cursed myself. I was just mentally denying the fact that this is that is not the right, that's in the wrong drawer. That I'm doing chassis mounted steering, and we're gonna have a bear of a time getting Panhard drag link. Although maybe not. Maybe we just won't try to get it as so it's got a little bump steer. That's another one in the wrong drawer. Okay, 5 points. A bunch of 5.8s have snuck over into the 5.7 bin. None of these things are pivoting. That's another one. This means I have to go through this whole drawer again. There we go. Picked up a new, never used element rear axle for $20 on eBay. So now I need to build another truck. That's how it works. That's how it works. You got to build another one. It's not optional. They're 14s, but they might be 16s. They're 14s. We're going to have a giant axle in here. Ooh, shocks. I got to pick up some shocks. I'm using power on 3D prints because that's the way I do. If ads are popping up and I'm not catching them, just let me know, and I will try to glance up towards that pane more often. They've gotten very sneaky with it. I think I only see it about a third of the time because, as I said, that's over there and chat's over here. So I tend to look right above. Chat is like right above the camera because if I put chat over on this screen, the window is it's this big. It's like a postage. Hey! William, to the most secret society. I gotta have some 90s. I gotta have some 90s that aren't mounted to something, right? I do. What do we got? I got some 10 Pro shocks. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Yeah. It should be about right. Straight off the VRD. Straight off the VRD. They don't have balls, but we can use any balls because these are not double shear mounted. Nice. I should have the standoff balls. That will save us fasteners. Please tell me I have 4 and not just 3. Why do I? Aha. I do. Provided they fit in the shock. We're going to run them right side up. This going to do things or not do things? Yeah. Is there a body picked out for this rig? Yes. It is somewhere between North Carolina and California. A-Main, for anyone who's A-Main VIP, they are so smart. They're so smart. They sent me a thing 20 off of 50. But they know that you have to order $100 worth to get free shipping. So they got you. So I ordered 3 bodies from A-Main. Yes, either yesterday or day before yesterday. So we will see. We'll get to see when they show up because it's UPS from North Carolina, so it's going to take way longer than it should. I have dropped 2,200 frames. The network is terrible today. I made sure to restart and everything. Did not apparently help. I've dropped 2% of frames. 2%! Cape Crawlers did a good job of showing off the Sparcs. It's interesting tech for being new. Clever chaps over in the land of Pooh Bear have copied the Proline IFS kit in aluminum. Oh. Still waiting for the RC four-wheel drive versus Sawback. Hey! Andre Rosu. 5 more memberships. Yeah, so I ordered... Oh, so I bought a... I went as simple as I could. I bought a creep. I bought... Well, creep cab. I bought a tucked cab. And I bought a full Warlord. Which is just another tucked. The only way in the toy cars we play with to get 3 bodies for $100 is to shop J Concepts. Is that a 1/24th chassis? That would be a big 1/24th. Proper big. Now, we'll see what my luck is. I'm getting 4 5.7 by 7s out and not having a 5.8 that cheated its way into the 5.7 bin. A lot of the free ends that you get with like link kits all have 5.8 millimeter balls, so they don't fit in regular ends. Yeah, J Concepts, the Warlord, the full one though, not just the cab. The IFS guy with the trailing arms, the missing link, is running a Warlord cab. It just looked small. It's Friday and my brain is mushy. Well, also, as was pointed out, the banana hands. I can make anything 24th scale. But no, this is a full deal. Need a body you can add lights to. Make those Sparcs create a dance show with the lights. Amazon has a bunch of cab-only crawler bodies. Got a Power Wagon one. It's been so far good for $30. Yeah, that's what Scarlet is. Which, that debacle. That was the debacle of the day that didn't work out. I tried numerous times to scan her window masks. But in the divine wisdom of the people that make the window masks, yeah. See if we can get it to a point where you can actually get any contrast on it. We're going to do white on white. So if you want to duplicate them, good luck. If they were yellow tape, if they were the blue Oracal film, if they were anything, I could duplicate them. So instead, I'm going to have to duplicate those by hand. It's got giant diffs, use giant wheels and tires. Blew a tire up today, about 70 miles an hour. Nice. Hey, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick. Hi, everybody. This is going to be very interesting. This chassis is an unknown quantity because I need another package. The shock towers are so low relative to the rail. We gon' find out. We definitely gonna find out. Yeah, there we go. Now, I don't know if these links were chosen wisely or poorly. So, yeah, it definitely looks like servo and axle, but it's bigger than that. It's full on motor on axle. It's MOA without being MOA. So we don't care about geometry. We don't care about any of that stuff. We're just trying to establish something resembling a reasonable pinion angle. And I think if I go to that, the shortest hole right there looks like it might even work. The links, also, the way they did their link mounts, they're basically touching each other. I don't know if I'm going to eventually have to run like a high clearance upside down. Yeah, that is quite near touching. Let the link juggling begin. We do have it is the day of crypto axles. So obviously, regardless of how much work I have to put in tomorrow to get this thing ready, or did anybody catch it? Did anybody catch it? That I just bolted the left-hand link onto the right-hand side? Oh, Ben, I know how the Sparc axles work, but you cannot argue that they are not motor on axle. That's a motor on the axle. It doesn't drive the axle, but it is a motor on the axle. So if someone wanted to disallow something for competition, they would just say, you have a motor on your axle. And this is basically a torsion differential with a lot of steps. And I still now question, and I'm not one to question. Sometimes we do things just because we can. These strike me, the Sparc axle strikes me vigorously as something done in the spirit of just because we can. I cannot see in any instances where this is going to provide an increase in performance commensurate both to the cost and for the caveats that come along with the axle in terms of complexity, size, weight, everything. Yeah, I'm all for the innovation, the innovative approach taken by the axle. But try to argue that that's not a dumper right there. That is all the junk straight up in the trunk. Please explain as if talking to a child. So the motor, okay, I can do it even better. Inside of the axle that I might have put away. Did I put it away? I'll get another one. All right. Inside this axle, there's a gear like this. There's a ring gear, and that's driven by the pinion gear. And it's spooled. So it puts 50% of the torque to there and 50% of the torque to there. It doesn't care which tire is loaded. It doesn't care what's happening. A gear is driving another gear, which just drives two output shafts. Inside here, there's a motor, and it basically looks like this. So you have a ring gear for each side, at least for my, and yeah, could argue it's a dervo. Yeah, it's a drive servo. Yeah, when you turn it, it feels really weird. It feels really, really weird because you're turning the motor at the same time. Oh, plastic hexes. $500 you couldn't chip on some. I'm just messing with you, Sparc Drive. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, it instead of it being an open differential, the motor itself that's in the axle is acting as the differential. So it's actually driving, it's determining the drive that goes to either side. So instead of gears or plates or fluids, it's an active differential. And whenever I get into anything that touts active, more often than not, it's going to be a problem. We hope for the best. We steel ourselves for the worst. Also, it's just so complicated. So we need those axles with the torqueless wonder to see how much drag brake they give you. They could, I mean, on paper, it would that should work, because there's definitely resistance in this at all times, because there's a motor in there. I am putting the entire rear axle assembly on first because I want to have some small feeling of accomplishment, because then we're going to have to go get CMS set up, and it's going to be fun on a bun. I should probably have mounted these in line. We're just going to go to the farthest hole and hope that it's not too cranked to the sky. Who the heck is? I make no durability guesstimates. They appear to be extremely well made. This is just like, I'm gonna have to fabricate some sort of plate to go in here to hold all of the stuff that the Sparc Drive uses. That's not it. I think it's a 20. It doesn't look terrible. That angle does not look terrible. And I don't even have any screws holding the thing. Hey, 5 more free ones. Who makes this weird axle? Sparc Drive. Best way to improve stock electronics in an element? $500 axles. So it's an adjustable limited slip differential like on a race car. Think of it more as like the active differentials in like that Subaru used to run in their WRC cars, where it could digitally throw 100% torque to one axle. So think of it as like that, but it can throw, theoretically, this should throw 100%. It could vector 100% of torque to one tire. Oh, I need to, no. That's flopping all over the place. Where's my single sheet of paper? We might as well just build the whole rear end while we're back here. M3x8s throughout. We're done. You know what? Of course, this is the day that Mr. Spain isn't here, because he gives me the most kind-hearted grief about leaving for an hour and coming back, and I haven't done anything. I didn't start putting links on until about 20 minutes ago. So it's his loss, you know? Now he'll never know. So Saturday is already uploaded. It's already up. Does the Sparc system require it is definitely direct powered, because it has it's got a little hopper on there. So this thing is going to look, this thing is definitely going to look the part as a test apparatus, because it's going to be more zip ties than anything else holding all the wires in place. Okay, I need to get a chassis brace installed. Yeah, that's definitely Traxxas body mounts. I'm probably just going to put a cab on this one. Although, maybe the Warlord? Oh, man. Audi Quattro, like, yeah. Yeah, BOC is, yeah. I think that's their BEC shrinked up right there. Those axles are banned, I believe it. That's starting to look awfully monster trucky. I can't argue. I just saw Top Gear talking about torque vectoring. Amazon has a channel just on episode repeats. Nice. Nice. Oh, there we go. There we go. We need that. Yes. Thank you, JC NorCal, for we needed the Mr. Spain impersonator. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick random holes. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just gonna pick random holes. Put these in here. You're gonna be right behind the shock, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah, it is. This is going to get real monster trucky before it gets better. I am thoroughly enjoying, though, how complete this, for a $54 LCG setup, this is awfully complete. It does not indicate at any point that it was made for a TRX-4. So, Traxxas body mounts is interesting. Yeah, full-size crawlers eat your heart out. I don't know if full-size crawler guys would go for it, because there is definitely a jump in weight, complexity, more stuff to break. It still blows my mind that Matt's Offered Recovery is not running, like, he doesn't run spools in, like, anything. Take that off again. JDA, this is an Amazon. It might still be up on my phone, so I can tell you which one it is exactly. My app closed. I can get there. I want to say it was AMK. RC Huiwao. Chassis frame upgrades part for SCX10, SCX102 90046. Crawler RC car. RC carbon fiber LCG wheelbase chassis kit with silver transmission gearbox. $54.99. Yeah, sold by RC Huiwao. I can get a link up on it. Doesn't the Rift come with open diffs? Yeah. But the Rift also does, the Rift RTR does 40 miles an hour out of the box. So, the Rift is not a crawler. Period. End of list. My Rift is a crawler, but it takes a lot of work to get there. The Rift is designed to go really fast, and it's fairly unstable. Live axles at speed are fairly unstable. Yeah, electric is definitely heavy. I think a Rivian pickup weighs like 8,000 pounds. I am dropping frames. I don't know how choppy this is for all of you. We've dropped 3% of frames. My thing is all green bars down at the bottom. Like, I haven't gotten a yellow notification. I haven't gotten anything, but I am dropping frames like crazy. We had a couple weeks where 1 week we dropped 59 frames out of like 500,000. Today we've dropped 4,300 already. Even at 30 frames per second, that's a lot of frames. All right, we can, ooh, okay. Maybe maybe laid down too far. No, not like a Wendigo. The Rift can do it. It's just that if you're trying to turn anything with live axles at speed, it wants to just do this. So you almost, like the tires that come with it, those big intercos, they are definitely designed not to be too grabby. Like they want them to slip a little because when they catch, no, see the Wendigo, the geometry was so bad that you couldn't even drive it in a straight line. It had bump steer, torque steer, chassis twist. It had everything. I wanted the Rift to be a big cagey crawler. The frames issue is a very common issue, yeah. Facnoy on Amazon sells link kits for that chassis for $20. Oh, that would have been nice to know. Yeah, Gremlin's definitely stealing the frames. So, yeah, I mean, 1.2 pounders, it feels nice. And it feels a little underdamped and a little undersprung. But, as I said, there's no guarantee that any individual part here is going to remain, and most importantly, none of the links hit any of the other links. So that would be my starting point for things are going okay. Pixies, yeah, we're letting Pixies out. This front axle is crazy, absolutely crazy. I've got drive shaft ends over here. The question that will be answered in fairly short order is, do I have shafts to make drive shafts that fit this? Worst case scenario, Element. I'll have shafts and centers in Element, I think. We keep building things, and I keep running out of parts. Because I had forgotten that I gave away a TRX-4. That I built a whole TRX-4 and we gave it away. That's a lot of parts. That's a lot of parts. Are those double bent lower links? No. Those are the ants. I never thought about the ants stealing the frames. These are tie rods. They're steering links. It was the only thing I had that was long enough. I needed 2 very long links. You know what we'll do? Let's move this over here. And then we can do this kind of over here. Hey, there we go. Look at this. Production value. You know what? Where's that upper? We got pop balls. We got pop balls. Oh, that is going to be... Okay. Okay, I see it. We can... No, we need the upper in. No, we need to move that over. There's a couple different mounting positions for the gearbox, and I see that I had it over too far to the middle, and I was not going to be able to successfully get the front upper on. It will actually be much easier to get the front upper on with the gearbox uninstalled, so that this thing can stop a flopping. Where'd it go? That's not it. Okay, that needs to be a little bit longer. So yeah, good old Clifford. I basically just built another Clifford. I have this thing where I build TRX-4s and then give them away. Slice a yoga block on a bandsaw. What did I miss? Have we weighed these axles versus a standard motor and ESC setup? Is there more or less overall weight with these? The axles are 300 grams a piece. So they're like a fairly weighted, they're like a fairly built out, brassed up Element axle. Oh, bonus. They give you a replacement, but that is... I wonder why CVD. Why CVD and not Universal? Oh, because there's a motor. They don't want the camming. They don't want the camming. So I've lost that front axle, but okay, here's an F10. So what happens is you can hear it if you listen. Click, click, click. That's the yokes hitting against each other, and it gets like this camming action where you can watch a tire go woo, woo, woo. I think they don't want that on these. So universals now make sense. CVDs make sense instead of universals because that's going to automatically limit the steer angle, so you're not going to get that camming for support underneath. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. I need a 7.5 on one end, but I would prefer to use 7 on the other so we're not as close to the motor. No, let's just remain consistent. Concise and consistent. I did buy a 25 pack. I can afford to go through some of these. JC NorCal saying nobody loves Ratchet because nobody shouted out his performance on Wednesday. Yeah, where he's tied for second. How about Ironsides? Not a soul mentioned that Ironsides is in the top 10, and he's not just a TRX4. He's a TRX4 defender that is more stock than not. He has no business being up there as fast as the rest of them. But there he is. Also, this is ancillary. This comes in from the side. Okay, I don't like that. This comes in from the side, but I think it's fine that we're going to put these axles on something untested, untuned, and of unknown quantities because we got magic axles. We got magic axles using magic. And I have long said, particularly with things like inserts, like, you know, the best insert in the world can't make a bad tire good. What can we get out of magical axles? Need a ball in. Can't even reach it. What can we get out of magical axles on a rig of unknown quantity? We're going to find out. You know what I might do? Go from the inside so there's no risk of hitting the motor. That angle looks pretty darn good. Pretty darn good right there. Yeah, I barely caught that camera. He rolled off and nailed that camera, and that is the... I have two cheap... Well... Cheap in, for those of you that know tripods, when I say cheap, we're up to 5,500 frames. When I say cheap tripod, those who know tripods know what I mean by cheap tripod. I have some like $80 tripods, and they are really heavy, and they're rated to hold like 30-some pounds, and I use 2 of those. But tripod 3 that camera is affixed to is not one of those heavy ones. It's an ultra lightweight that's usually to have like a real small mirrorless or a phone on it. And that is, of course, the one that got hit. So I might have to move like put camera, what I call camera 2, put camera 2 on the lightweight tripod. Okay. All right. If we don't ruin the panhard, if we get a reasonable panhard hooked up here, this thing might actually work. I don't just mean from the axles, I mean from the standpoint of the vehicle. Okay, So those lowers, I feel like I don't know. It looks long, right? Does it look long? It is long. It's 335. So the fronts need to be about like 10 millimeters shorter. Or not. I like a 330 millimeter wheelbase. In the instructions, it says to give the fairy inside a sandwich every couple of days. Who else? Why else would you watch any race if not for the crashing? That's fair. Jake definitely atop the leaderboard for best carnage. Not just for being the fastest. Can a fusion crawl while fighting a reedy? We are going to find out. Spax, speaking of tripods, looked up some of the ones I was using for a project while I was in college. They were $1,500 each. There's a company that makes a tripod that is fully automatic, right? Like you just tap a button on the side and it raises to the height that you need, and it has object tracking so it can move, right? That tripod is $5,000. And there are YouTube channels that have their cameras on computer-controlled robot arms. Why not, right? You know, 25 grand in camera equipment. Why not? Oh yeah, this, I see it now. This front axle is so far out. we might have to get into the bin. I don't know if we can be out that far. Although I don't know if I have shorter. The max amp of tripods. I think 80 millimeters plus minus is a good start for the front length. Jeff, is that eye to eye? Okay, because if it is, we can go VRD style, and I can run straight, just not high clearance. I can just run straights in the front because I have a lot more, like, my high clearance bin is not big. My regular straight link bin is pretty big. Am I the only one that doesn't see a difference between YouTube channels that shirt with GoPros and the ones that use like $1,200 Canon cameras? 1,200? 1,200? A Canon C-Series is $6 grand for the body. $2,000 to $4,000 for the glass. Not uncommon. Eye-to-eye front is 3.5 inches. Okay. So 80 millimeters. 80, wait, no. That's 88? 80, 88? Okay. Okay. I'll just build them and then pop those off and swap them out. This I can do, and we'll just do it, like I said. VRD doesn't have high clearance links in the front. They're just straight. So that's actually going to be in my sub 3-inch link bin, which is... So I actually need a link that is... What did we say, 88? You said 3.5, 88 millimeter? The supposed to use front links were on 60. No. There's no way. As I said, these are 110. It would be 50 millimeters shorter. Because the rear axle seems just about right with those crazy long links. I think 88. Yeah. 80 to 90 millimeter is probably where we want to be. So we need like a 55-ish shoulder to shoulder. 75 eye to eye for lower and 70 front upper for AR-44s. Okay, I'm going to find a lot of 60s. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I got 44s and I got 45s and 60s. Okay, if we go with this link, this will pull the front end back like 16 millimeters. That link would be eye to eye. Still like 95, I think. Yeah, like 93, 95. Okay, I got to find the next step shorter. The supposed two rears are super long. I definitely notice crappy cameras, but if the content is good, I'll watch anyway. Yeah, I have said that for me, audio is the big one. If the sound is really bad, and I don't mean bad sound brought about by, like, you know, they're out in the wind tunnel of Southwest Utah. I mean just bad audio. So we're looking for something between eye to eye front is 3.5, eye to eye rear is 7.25. So that's like 88, and then somebody else said 75, but maybe that's the link length. There's an auto reviewer who does his YouTube on a really good 4K camera. Yeah, my standard of excellence is Marquez Brownlee, the equipment he uses, both in terms of audio and what the video looks like. I'm never going to get there because I know how much stuff like that costs. Okay, I have a link where I can do about just under 80. So these are 76 end to end, which would get us in the just over 90. Then we've got really short. I feel like those are going to be too short. What if I use an angled end on those? What is that going to come out to? Okay, there's our 88s. There's our 88s. Put the other shock on and just caliper when centered. I gotta do these by hand because my tool rips these to shreds. It's the one thing among a list of many things that I didn't think about all the way. Was front shock angle. Front shock angle never occurred to me once. And not only would that shock angle not work, that front shock angle, it was hitting the link. It was hitting the tie rod. So that's definitely not working. But that's okay. We're not that far in. And the rear end, I knew the front end was going to be a nightmare. Feel like you need to bend the rear links or make some links with a bit more angle for the lowers. There's a lot of clearance under there. Are they the perfect links? No. Oh, and he said, what did he say, 7.25? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even that long. I'm like 6 3/8. So they're running some cartoonishly long. If somebody is the one, someone posted a link in the Discord. Is that the one in the Discord? Because if that's the one, then I will just order that one. With the very short fronts and the long rears. I just ordered 2 link kits. So these come out, yeah, 88s. So that's a 3.5, which is good. And then Did he mention what the upper is? 70 upper. Oh no, he said it was 70 upper. I'll figure out what it is. Bad YouTube videos where the music is dubbed in but recorded at high volume. Oh my goodness. Ooh. And it's the same, like, 5 royalty-free tracks. Just over and over forever. I'm not a fan. RC Driver Online goes to the, as soon as he steps foot outside, the canned royalty-free music fires up at full volume. I tried, like, when I do my outros, like on Wheel and Wednesday, or when I do my outros on a review or something, I dug through the stuff that I've downloaded from the royalty-free music library. Insert Kevin MacLeod audio library. There it is. There it is. I looked through the stuff that I have, and I was like, is there something that I could put on in the background? Just, you know, like filler. I can't even handle it in the edit. Front, upper, 3 and oh yeah, this will be completely different due to the link mount. I'm gonna have to figure out what the link mount situation is gonna be, because element axle. Oh man, I was looking everywhere for the balls for the upper link, and I haven't taken the upper link off yet. That's why I couldn't find it. Rear upper 7-inch trim Capra. Did this one inside out. If it went smoothly, you'd think you were watching something else. Yeah, if we're just going straights in the front, it's easy. So easy. I can make a straight link in a couple minutes. YouTube vids with AI voiceovers. Oh my god, like I don't know about anybody else. I hope this isn't happening to you. But there are days when my algorithm / feed, whatever it is absolutely polluted with these they're just entirely AI channels. They find something you're interested in, and then there's like 50 videos that all pop up that are along the same sort of topic, and it doesn't even qualify as content. It's just garbage. Did you see that new Anjora LCG gearbox? Not in person. Music and videos isn't a good idea very often. How big are your chances not to annoy many of your viewers? I often quit nice music because the music sucks. Yeah. Also, the only time I feel any motivation to put any music in a video is like the part at the end where the scenery's not changing, and I'm like, what if people get bored? Well, they're still here, dude. That means that there's a very small group of people that have made it to that point in the video anyway. Don't annoy them with music. So I just I think wisely I choose not to. And that's true. Everybody does like lo-fi. Or the split screens that are stealing other people's content. How about, follow me on this one. How about a react video where it's just a person's head on one side of the frame and they just nod approvingly for a minute? I feel like that's like 40% of YouTube shorts. I don't get it. But it's like spam. It's like telemarketers. It's like any of it. Their success rate doesn't have to be that high. Ben, these are RC Hui Wow from Amazon. $55 for the whole thing with the gearbox. I couldn't pass it up. Oh, I didn't want to walk over to the charger, so I put in the other battery. It's dead too. But the other one is flashing dead, which means really, really dead. So what they've done is the BTA linkage basically hits no matter what, unless the shock is almost stood straight up. The placement of the BTA linkage is, so this bolt is directly in line with the shock mounting bolt. So the only way you can get this mounted and have your shock not interfere with the behind the axle steering is to have it at about a 30-degree angle. It's about as far as you can lean it back. So when the guy said 75 millimeters eye to eye, that was probably pretty close. So as that would sit right there, we're now looking at that's about 310. I don't want to go any shorter than that, but I also can't mount shocks. Well, I can. Maybe. I can, maybe. This is Frankensteining 101. YouTube shorts belong on TikTok. YouTube's pushing the shorts as hard as they can because can you do a long rod end on the shock? Those I have. Those I have right here. Ain't gonna hurt to try. I don't like, I mean, this, it's not specifically this chassis, it's this chassis and this axle trying to cooperate together. There are too many chassis out there that require your front shock angle to be near vertical. Even the brazen scale, the front line, there are only 4 total usable shock holes, 1 for each shock. There's like something like 8 holes in the rear and 10 in the front. None of them are usable except for 1 hole, because otherwise your ride height will be all the way to the moon. It's in the furthest back highest hole just to get it to work, period. I might actually, I got to look at it. So we'll try the longer end. Might be able to run them upside down too. Because the shock looks a little more narrow at the top. But we'll try it longer. They're trying to confound me on my desire to tank steer it. I gotta be able to get the front end on. And I haven't even opened the bag with the servo mount in it yet. I think we can get away with it upside down. But before I do that, we have to change the... First off, we have to find the 4th shock. Does anybody see the 4th shock? There it is. We got to change the end on the 4th shock. Keep falling into the shorts hole and coming to a couple of hours later. I will take an Instagram reel over a short most all the time because so much. Oh, tell me, fellow shorts viewers, how many times have you seen a short that is clearly cropped out of something else, either something from Instagram or something to TikTok, and it gets right to the point where the person in question is going to say something interesting and the short ends. Or it's like, continued in part 2, and I'm like, oh, just don't do this. I understand what shorts are for. Shorts are basically promotional. I need to get into it, but I ask myself how motivated I am to drive engagement. Like, how much more work do I want to do? How many hours a week do I want to devote to clipping shorts out of my long form content to post them on the shorts? The kingdom of dislikes. Like, if you have a short that's up, if you're regularly posting shorts and you can keep your like-dislike ratio to like 80%, you're doing amazing. My most viewed short is one of my most disliked things I've ever done, where I complained at no length. I want to say the short was about 25 seconds long. I complained that on my trash cans, which are provided by the trash company, not for free, I mean, we got to pay for them. On our trash cans, when the lid do I have a bin with nothing in it? I don't know how to exhibit this with my hands. Okay. This is the trash can, and this is the lid. When the lid swings open like that, if the lid was 1 inch shorter, it would be fine. But at the length that it is, the lid slams into the curb. So within 6 months, the lid to your trash can has been absolutely murdered because the trash can picks it up with a hydraulic lifter with a claw, dumps it, and then it goes boom and slams it down on the ground. So the lid swings back and nails the sidewalk, and sometimes it will hit hard enough that a chunk of the lid will just blast off. And I was like, you don't have to be an engineer to know how tall a curb is. Either make the trash can 1 inch taller or make the lid 1 inch shorter. Now the lid can't slam into the sidewalk anymore. I got more hateful, like, oh, you're an idiot. Like, maybe you don't do this right, or you're doing that wrong, or put your cans to face in so that doesn't happen. And I'm like, have you ever seen a trash can work? It grabs it. Here's the lid. So the lid opens this way. The sidewalk is over here. So this is the way the lid opens. It takes it. I need 2 empty ones or I'm going to fucking throw shit away. Okay. It goes like this. And when it dumps it, the lid opens up like that. All the stuff falls in, slams it back down. This flies down. Bam. Hits the sidewalk. So let's say you put it against, then the lid opens this way. All the garbage falls into the lid. Then when the arm goes to fling it back, it just catapults garbage onto your sidewalk, set them up on the curb. It says explicitly on the trash can, do not put this on the curb, because that's where people walk. I don't understand. I don't understand how people work. Do people, have these people ever taken the trash out before? Have they ever put trash in a trash can? It provokes a lot of questions that, let's be honest, I probably don't want the answers to. But people will speak with such an... The only adjective I can think to adequately describe it is a stunning level of confidence. Is a stunning level of confidence. Any single component of the design of that trash can, if that trash can was 1 inch taller, if the hinge, if the lid, instead of the lid being this tall, was this tall, and the lip was 1 inch higher, the lid doesn't hit the curb anymore. But they just keep making them like that. And then riding the bike around town, there would be just pieces of trash can lid out in the street. I watched a trash truck, actually, the lid got stuck. Like the pincher came back too fast, grabbed the lid, can went down, just ripped the entire lid off the trash can. Truck just drives away. Now that guy gets to come out of his house and go, what happened to my trash can? Design. Your trash can got designed to death. Where do they want this front body mount? Same thing. How does that... Oh, my God. Speaking of the collision of clever design and then something else. So this is the body mount. Well, you can see it better right here. This is the body mount. It's got two little chassis braces on it. You drop a Traxxas body mount down in there. They want the front one mounted into these top holes right here, which means if you want to mount your shock to a top hole, it can be this end one or this end one and none of the other ones, because this one is going to cover all the holes. So I am instead going to do it on the lower one and hope that nothing runs into it. What do they want? 14s. Going through a lot of 14s. Because we're going to build it as advertised. The more I cobble along, the more I'm thinking put a Warlord on it. Might we'll see if my mind changes by the time I'm done though. Okay. All right. Either that end... Nope. Yep. Sometimes you ask yourself, why is that thread not... why is that bolt not threading in? They didn't tap it. What was I working on? Oh, yeah. Y'all missed out. I haven't done any content about it because I was just passing time in here. I swapped out Eddie's axles. Because I've been driving Eddie, and Eddie wasn't sparking joy. He was not passing the condo test, so I thought, let's throw those alloy axles on him and see if that feels any different. So I threw the alloy axles on Eddie, and he didn't feel any different. So then I said, I need to do something that is not wise to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I drove him without his body on. And he got a lot better. So the body is the problem with Eddie. I'm going to have to paint something else for him. It's going to have to be, the same sort of type of paint theme, but the Sport Camper is killing the performance. So, but yes, semi-related thoughts. When assembling it, half the holes in those AliExpress alloy axles were not tapped. And I did not have enough forethought to check that in advance. So I was tapping holes with the axles installed on the vehicle. And these little spiral taps that I have are not super duper long. So some of their holes were not easy to get to. No, I would say Eddie is the paint job, not the body. Our trash service releases the forks on the can 2 to 3 feet off the ground, creating an obstacle course in the street. Yeah, just drop them. Just drop them. People can dodge. We will find something for Eddie that... I think here's what the problem came out to be. It began with... If the question is straight axle Phoenix or Portal Phoenix, that doesn't work either. That body mount... God dang. That body mount covers all of the holes. It's actually halfway up over the hole. So that doesn't work at all. Okay. Well, and courtesy of the rant I just made a few moments ago, I can't even call it trash can engineering. The thing we always used to call it was trash can engineering. I can't even call it that because they can't even design a trash can correctly. Maybe that is more accurately trash can engineering. So this front body mount absolutely does not work under any circumstances. If you attach this front body mount, you can only put your shock into that hole or that hole, and that's it. So there are 4 usable shock holes. Well, I don't want to use any of those shock holes. I want to be somewhere here in the middle. Kind of sort of in the middle. Yeah, like right there. That's the hole I want to be in. So, I mean, I will relent. And I will have to drill and tap that body mount out. One time my trash can fell into the truck and they drove away. I know they've done that to us because we had a green waste can just disappear. We have 2 green waste cans because, you know, there's trees and stuff everywhere. And one day one of them was just gone. So I was like, something happened to one of our green waste cans. I called up the number and she was like, okay. And then like the next morning there was already a new can at the street. You picked a tough chassis to build on the live stream. Yeah. Oh, my trash man liked to get almost all of the contents into the truck. I have one of those little, they're for elderly people. It's got the grip like this and it's got the little claw on the end. I have a 5-gallon bucket and that claw specifically to go up and down the fence line on the front of my property and pick up all the trash that doesn't make it into the truck and then gets blown around and ends up against the fence in front of the house. Just have to expect them to not give a crap. Back when they went to one dude in a trash truck, I mean, what would we expect? I did indeed pick a tough chassis to build on a live stream. It's not gonna get me though. It's not gonna get me. I'm gonna beat it. I got a good hour, and I feel like I'm past. I feel like I'm past 2/3 of the way. Now, yes, the stuff that I'm getting hung up on is not the stuff that I thought I would get hung up on. So we are not going to go for utmost accuracy. I'm getting this drag link. Instead of a cab only, do a bed only. Front mount problem solved. Now you're thinking with portals. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Optimized? Dunno. My grandpa had 4 of those grabbers. I ordered one specifically off of Amazon because I'm like, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching road garbage. Yeah, nice. Okay. So, oh, that's terrible link angle. That's absolutely horrible. We need to add some weight on this. But if I go right about there, I think we can guess tomato. We're gonna go there to there. 83. There's a big wire in the way that is ordinarily not in the way. Put that right like that. Let's go to that hole right there. I'm going to say 83. 83 eye to eye. Could be straight. All right. We can get 83. There it is. All right. It's just got to be close. Did he use all four at once? Like a can grabbing General Grievous. I don't know if Lee Jordan was saying evening all because I think he just got here. I didn't think he said it because he was leaving. Or did he say it because he was leaving? He is in the UK. I don't know. I feel like I've instituted upon myself a random time crunch. And we got to hope that all of the electronics work. So much can still go wrong. So much can still go wrong. See how close this is. Front body mount is not inspiring. I think we're good. I think we're good. Where's the ball end? It says B on it. Yeah, I thought he hadn't been here. The luxury of ball end. Where are we at? We're just going to pick a hole. Nope, that's bad. Okay, I feel resistance right there, and I'm 99.9% sure that that resistance is brought about by the fact that the steering tie rod is touching the shocks. So I don't know how good this angle is going to be. I also don't know what the angle is going to be because we haven't built a panhard yet. Okay, the shock spring was stuck on the chassis. Oh no, those do need those need to be 100%. Those need to be angled. That's not going to work otherwise. Ah, it's a shame. Should have built the front end first. You need to run 2 batteries with these axles. It does not appear to be. It's got a second BEC specifically for the controller unit. I will go through the instructions because there are definitely plug ports on that module. So something, I'm assuming the throttle has to go through that before it goes to the receiver. I'm just guessing. I didn't read ahead because I knew how steep the hill I was about to try to climb. Ah, the beauty of a live stream. We will get there one way or the other. I got till 3:30 at least. It's going to be a heck of a stunt truck. Well, it is sitting alarmingly high right now on 1.2 pound springs. I think mostly due to the fact that it has no sprung weight on it, except the chassis rails and the center chassis. So it's holding up about 2 ounces of weight. It should settle down once we get all of the apparatus on it and the zip ties. It's going to have, we're going to have 4 ounces of zip ties on this thing. All right. Please tell me that's not the exact same length. Unfortunately, there's no way to fudge this. I have to put it on. There's a lot going on in a very small space. Yes, there is. That's close. You know what that is? That is close enough. Now, if we can get a panhard and that panhard not be messed up, today I cleared the table as it wasn't giving me any joy. Yeah, I mean, if you're not having a good time, then like what are you doing it for? We're Frankensteining, knowing that we're going to have to fully rebuild. That's actually too far back. That's actually too far back. That is not what I had anticipated. Make sure it's centered. This would be so much easier if it was servo and axle. But we don't get to do that. What was that pop-up when something just popped up? Out of the corner of my eye, I saw movement. I think. Okay, that's crazy, right? All right, you know what? Nope, that's pushing it way too far. So that's too long. Okay, the panhard won't be able to fight that back. So we'll try right there. It ain't optimal. Does it do 4-link front too? You could, but you can't because you can't mount the servo on the axle. No, so this rig could be, in its future, could be 4-link front, sure. With these axles, it cannot. It does look like I put MOA axles on LCG. So those are probably about, oh, it'll tell me on the paper. M3x16. I just ordered a fresh bag of those from McMaster. Oh. There. I like all the holes, which gives me options. Just use a ruler for this. You want to get your drag link and your panhard as parallel as possible. I could actually go one hole back, maybe. Yeah, we're not interfering with the shock, so it looks good to me. Looks good to me. Now, where the drag link and panhard lengths come out relative to each other, that's up to these guys. We'll see how it shakes out. Speaking of M3, where do you order your bulk extras from? McMaster Industrial. They don't do like variety, anything like that. You get them 100 at a time. I would say on average like $8 to $11 per 100. And some sizes like M3x10s are going to be even cheaper because they probably sell more of those than they sell anything else. So a bag of M3x10s is going to be cheaper, like $5 something. But once your screw bins start, it's been hovering out of the corner of the frame over here. Once your screw bin starts looking like this, and this is just black oxide button heads and flatheads, you just buy them 100 at a time. I probably have 400 or 500 of some sizes, like M3x8s, M3x16s, the really common stuff. Okay, now we're going to get this guy right about here, right about there. And that is an insane drag link. And panhard. Oh, servo. I need to see what... Okay, so that is a shim. So this is like a shim, strengthener shim. I guess it doesn't really matter where it goes relative to the servo. But we'll put it... They say put it behind, so we're going to put it behind. We'll get some servo mounting screws. I don't know why I feel like I'm hurrying. Just gotta mellow out. Just mellow out. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna work. I'm trying to give myself X amount of minutes to get the electronics hooked up. We're most of the way there. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling myself that. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm most of the way there. Aside from the front body mount being something of a debacle, I think that overall, I think this thing is going together pretty well. I do like a lay down servo. I don't see how we are going to get... Okay, this is stuff that will have to be addressed in the future, because there's no way under the sun that we're going to be able to get the drag link and the panhard the same length. Right now, they are disparate. This chassis would work much better with something like an F10, where the panhard mount is in more and up higher. An F10 or an AR45 or a 10 Pro, something like that, it does not like the element axle. We are looking at, might as well be 105 on the panhard, and it looks like the drag link is going to come out about 85. A 20 millimeter differential is really bad. Really, really bad. Make sure I get that triple checked. A little bit shorter at ride height, maybe 103. So 103 eye to eye on the panhard. Unfortunately, this angled one, which would have been great, is a 110. So we got to find something about 103. Four-wheel steer with Sparc axles. Woof. Yeah, I mean, if the tank turn works the way the tank turn is advertised, wouldn't it kind of negate four-wheel steer, or the need for four-wheel steer? Also, we just passed 10,000 dropped frames. 10,000. Previous record for an episode was like 4,600, and that was back in the old slow internet days. We're like 500 megabit now. And 10,000. And it's like every minute, it's dropping like 60 frames a minute out of 1,800. What are you going to do? So if this is 75, I need a link that's about 70 millimeters long. Or shorter. Or shorter. Ooh. I got a super thanks, but I don't see it in here. Can't crab without four-wheel steer. That is true. Wait, is that going to be long enough? No. No. Way longer than that. There it is. This is like an element front lower. Element front lower as a panhard bar is crazy. So whatever axle these had in mind, now you've got me, guys have got me thinking, so four-wheel steer, but in a tank turn, what would that do? Because tank turn operates off of, I've seen how the, those G-Wagons can do the whirlwind thing. They don't use steering angle at all to do the whirlwind. So if you try to do the whirlwind with steering angle, what happens? I don't know. All right, how close did we get? Close enough. Close enough. It ain't optimal, but we're going to ship it. What would it do? Break. Yeah. I need another 14. All right, drag link. We're to drag link, drive shafts, put the parts on. Okay, so that's awful. That's awful. All right, we can we can we can fix it. we can fix it. So the holes that I randomly chose for the panhard, put the panhard literally across that rib that is on top of the axle. So no suspension compression at all. Now, will moving it forward that 8 to 10 millimeters, is that going to affect panhard length? Of course it is. Are we concerned about it? Not even a little. This is a zombie. If it can do anything at all, it will have been a success. Oh, that's much better. See? See? Told you we could fix it. I hope it's going to work good because it looks like an awful mess. Yeah, it does. It's a Franken zombie. Okay, so so the angle, that shock angle, look at that, that's absolutely fine. But because these are the shocks removed from that I removed from the BRD, there's just no oil there. We're just in the air pocket. You get down here, pretty okay. But when you get to full droop, you'd just be sick. You'd just be emulsifying. We're making mayonnaise in there. You know what? Do you know what? Okay, come on. Y'all saw me just hack-bodge this together right now. That has got minimal bump steer, which is going to be absolutely ruined when we attach a servo to it. I will use whatever servo horn I can. Oh, also, okay. I remember the question earlier when I said, why didn't they just use Element C-hubs? Because these C-hubs are keyed. So they're keyed like how 10 Pro does it. So these do not have adjustable caster. Also, it's not going to work. The tie rod hits the shock. I can try standing the shocks up all the way. Those, you loyal few who are here now, you will understand that there is every chance in the world that when you tune in on Sunday, I may have just gone into the parts bins and just built an element on element rails with all element parts and slapped these axles in, because I guarantee you I have a full set of element links in here. And I'll just do it on a completely bone stock element. Was I perhaps too ambitious here? Well, our reach, what is it? You let your reach exceed your grasp, exceed your reach exceed your grasp, your reach exceed your grasp. We've definitely outreached our grasp today. I can almost get to full lock. I can get to full lock if we take that drag link apart and put element ends on it, which are thinner. Yeah. What's the gear reduction in those axles? I have no idea. Oh, I'm missing some stuff. How do I fix bump steer? Just done a chassis swap on a TRX4 using the Enduro kit, and now the bump steer is on steroids. Okay. It's about parallelism. So bump steer arises primarily based on the relationship, the multiple overlapping angles, triangles of the front links. Okay, the two main culprits when you're getting bump steer are the panhard bar and the drag link. The drag link is usually contributing the most to bump steer because the servo is trying to, we'll just stick it on here. Like, the servo is trying to hold the horn as straight as possible. Now, when this moves through the stroke, like, oh, I mean, we can show it right here. When we are at what would be full droop, over drooped, now look, I moved at the two holes and ruined the whole front end. It's terrible now. So at full droop, that would be roughly still about 86, 87. And then at full compression, we're looking at, well, it's about 86, 87. Maybe this won't be that bad. You want the two links. I need to build the other link. I need to build the other link, and I'm going to get distracted, and then I'm going to forget to finish my thoughts for you. You need, dang it, you need, I'll do it this way. I am a panhard. I am a drag link. So this is the panhard axle and chassis end. You want them parallel this way. So you don't want this. You want them parallel this way. You also want them parallel this way. You don't want that is too much. That's too much. You don't want it like that. You want also optimally, you want the panhard to be perpendicular to the chassis at a 90-degree angle. This one is not. It's in between the holes. Now, we would just put a spacer out and push that back, or we would flip it around, try mounting in another hole. What you're basically going to have to do is you're going to have to rebuild all of your links over again. You're going to have to move them all around, and you're going to have to try to find that happy medium in between your links not hitting everything and your bump steer and your axle swing being minimized. You're never going to get it. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but you're never going to get it perfect. Like there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something. At least in my experience. We are going to use I wonder if those offset shock caps from DriveTech would help get the shock out of the way. I think what could be most easily done here is, most easily done, I've had to do this before, is just put lizards on it. Because then down at the bottom, it's just a shaft. So if well, let's see. We'll thread some element ends on. I think this would just solve it. Yeah, then nothing's going to hit. And these are set up to be run right set up and not upside down. Because the upside down ones will pull back in. So if I ran these upside down, it would be bad. So these are kind of actually perfect because they're ready. They're ready to rumble. Let me get another one put together. Like I said, we're building a Frankenstein zombie. So I, for one, embrace our undead overlords. HVT03, it's out of your budget, basically. At or above your budget. About after all is said and done, about $60 to buy them and $30 to $35 US to ship them. So like $90. Someone in the live stream last week, if they're here again this week, maybe they can tell you. Somebody mentioned that there's a seller over in the UK that has ruptures right now. Well, it's like everything else, Neil. This is what it's like. We're trying to make things work with other things, and none of the aforementioned things were ever intended to go together. We would be having no issues at all if we were simply installing spark drive axles under a virtually stock element. I think they would just fly right on. But what is the fun in that? I think I need 20 flats. I'm also going to need spacers, maybe. No, definitely, 100%. These things are so chunky. Yeah. I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. If anybody was concerned, I'm doing all right. Let's hope this spacer is big enough. So we will get, yeah, there we go. Yep. That'll do it. None of these screws are the right length. Not one. Trying to find tools and read chat at the same time. Yep. Desert Lizard front. I don't have time to swap the rears out. At least not until electronics are somewhat sorted. How many times is anybody keeping a loose track of how many times I've had to disassemble and reassemble the front end? But I knew I was ready and I was aware. I knew it was I knew it was going to be really bad. Had no idea there was a J-concept shortage. There's been a J-concept shortage forever. Yeah, I think right now it's Class 1 tusks are nearly unobtainium. I think megalithics are out again. 1.9 ruptures are always hard to come by. 2.2 tusks have been getting a little better. A little better. You can find them every now and again. But like an instance where all of the J-Concepts tires are in stock at any given time it basically doesn't exist. Third hole. Okay, so what length screw did I put on the other side? Getting screwed by my own fastener organization yet again. I put an 18 over there. It's disappeared on me again. Class 1 Tusk in stock in the UK. Hey. Do you have a specific video on building shocks upside down? I do somewhere. Yeah, I have a Desert Lizard video. It's in the little paper that comes from Desert Lizard. I just build them upside down. Small spring under the piston, medium spring above the piston. Okay, we should be able to get to lock now. Ooh. Oh no, this is better. I mean, look at that. Oh! But, hey. Do we get full squish? We don't get full squish on this side because it stops right. What is, there's nothing hitting. Yeah, that panhard is very nearly the right length. That is terrible. That is terrible. At ride height, look, we're fine. This thing under droop is going to do some weird stuff. That is ever so slightly too long. Hey, A-main had ruptures. That's like catching a unicorn. Jake Concepts batches seem to be about 4 sets per run. Yeah, that's about right. Another review on YouTube about the Aztecs. I'm still on the fence. I'm imagining a set will show up here. Oh, Dustin, if A-main says they all have them, like log into A-main tomorrow, and half of them will be gone, unless some sea change has happened and the world is upside down. Okay, I can't find a link that isn't 10 millimeters shorter or more than the link that I already have. And I need a link about 5 millimeters shorter than the link I already have. Okay. It's just going to be a hack bodge. It ain't going to be pretty. Maybe the torque vectoring will compensate for the generous axle sway. It's pretty good in the middle, but it's really bad at full droop. I think at least partly due to the fact that the amount of flex that would be present in it right now is excessive. I would not recommend. Do not look directly into the eyes of the drag link. It will swallow your soul. It is a Samix front upper from an unknown Samix kit. It is an axial 20-degree end on one end and a Traxxas 5347 on the other end. It just needs to fit, and we are going to make it fit. With that amount of differential, 103.85. 103.85 is terrible. Okay, that's a little longer. It's a little longer. It's quite a bit longer, right? Anything we can get it above 85 is just a victory. It is currently 86.1 degrees, 56% relative humidity. So we're up there around that 90 degrees again. It is getting, it's sticky. It's real sticky in here. Like I did this earlier. I leaned and all this stuff stuck to my forearm. A bunch of screws are falling off of me because nobody tightened me up. I have almost all the bins out of the drawers, trying to find the pieces that I need. It's I don't know if it's going well, but it's going. Even trying to find used takeoff canyon trails up in Canada is tough. Wow. Canyon trails are like Jenny's RC. When it's not off a high trail, you can get a set for like $25. Pre-mounted. I hope this end isn't too wallowed out. We might have found that. We might have the combo. You know what? That is good enough. I've lost it. All right. I'm going to be finding pivot balls everywhere because whenever I can't find one, I just grab a new one out of the box, as one does. All right. We can't attach that, though, because we don't know if it's centered. We could be 180 degrees off and try to rip the front end apart. Let's not do that. I need a 5 points. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the guys in Europe, the way I got the Flanco to Irwin was I shipped it to an Air Force base in Germany. A guy messaged me from an Air Force base in Germany and said I could ship it to him, and then he would forward it over to Belgium because it was only like 200 miles from where he was. And that worked out great. High humility? Yeah. 40% humility, I don't think you can really expect more than about 40% humility. Most people are like, on some level, they're like, listen, I know what I'm doing. So 40% humility would actually be pretty good as an overall stat. All right. Gearbox in. Woo! Yeah, I said there's multiple holes in the skid plate. So we're going to the outermost right here up against the frame. And the side of that outrunner clears the upper link mount screw by a millimeter, 2 millimeters. Woo! Yeah. Yeah, it's got 2 millimeters there. Oh. Okay, so it's lined up nice and centered right there. So up here, this is good. At full droop, the axle moves backwards and over like a lot. I feel like with how short that front end is, I don't know. I think here's what it comes down to. Those are not the axles for this chassis at all. I mean, overall, it feels all right. Oh, boy. More wires. Just realized we put more wires on. Oh! Yeah, we're going to have to use that, too. We're going to have to use that. So there's 2 little doojabs. That's a technical term. What size? 3x10. How about from the bottom? They won't tell. I'll never tell. This whole time I was like, where does that electronics / battery tray go? Actually, this drive shaft is, I don't know, let me see. Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. We gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out because we gotta get our torque vectoring on. So many cables. Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be an 8. Not worried about it. Not worried about it. I'm almost ready to put juice into this. I do want to have it to where we can tighten up the electronicals enough to where I have something to zip tie to so that this thing doesn't rip its own wires out. It's a super sketch right now. So this is what they intend for battery positioning. A buddy of mine moved back home to Ohio. I think I might have mentioned. And I sent him this Instagram reel. Do you think Cleveland is too fancy? Come on down to Akron, Ohio. We've got potholes, salad, blisteringly cold winters. I was like, they almost lost me at blisteringly cold winters, but I do love salad. It's going to need a drop front transfer case. No, just limit straps. I mean, look at the droop in the front. Are those desert lizards hundreds? I think they may be hundreds. Oh, there's your problem. So the desert lizards are hundreds. That's why it was working great on 90s and not so great now. But at squish, when we turn, it still hits the shock. I'm gonna have to build an element chassis. I know it. I don't care. I'm here to tank turn. That's what I'm here for. This is already bound. So. Oh wait, I can't plug that stuff in there. I gotta go to the book. What you're gonna build on the Revolt chassis? It's gonna be one of the cabs. That's why I got 3 bodies. Oh, he wasn't here for that. I bought a creep cab, a tuck cab, and a warlord. It's probably gonna be the tuck cab, and I'm gonna go for something kind of just like low profile OD3, or maybe the little 10.5 reduction. Oh wait. This is the user guide. I was like, I was wondering why isn't this telling me what to do? It explains torque vectoring in the user guide. Front axle steering fusion control model. Receivo and servo wire harness. Okay, I've got all that. I've mounted the axles. Front axle harness there, rear axle harness there. Mount the steering fusion control module. It's not as clear as I would like it to be. I'll just come out and say that right now. Okay, so this, you thought it was good before? We're going in deep. Okay, so this is where the front plugs in. The front has a 6-pin harness for some reason. The rear has a 2-pin harness. This goes in line with the battery. Okay. Then we've got a yellow plug with a single pin. And then we've got this and this. We've got a female and a male. And I must have missed it. I must have missed it. Spark drive, touch the rear drive shaft. Touch lower release trailing arms, steering fusion, mouse steering fusion. Do not plug the harness into your receiver until completing the initial setup and calibration steps in the user guide. You got it. You got it. So this is where we're sitting now. I feel like I'm building a battle bot. I don't know if I can even build a Vanquish. I think that's the longest. I think that's the longest Vanquish shaft you can build. It should bite. As long as it bites. I can't see to the bottom of it. I've lost my flashlight. I've lost my mind. It's just regular. Are we about to see these actually move? Yeah. I got to put drive shafts together and bolt them on, and then we should be able to hopefully figure out the wiring and then hopefully make this thing go. No promises. It was a personal goal. It was not a guarantee. This is the longest rear drive shaft I can make. I have consciously avoided measuring the front drive shaft because I have this terrible fear that it's going to be remarkably short. I drew in BattleBot guy. Yeah, this BattleBot guy, this is too many wires. This is too many wires for an RC car. Then for fun, we should, put lights on it and a winch and everything. We'll use up all the channels on the receiver. Okay, that is not optimized, but it is hip optimized. It's gonna. We're gonna go. We gonna go. All right. 25% of drive shafts installed. Oh, I didn't get I don't have pins. That's another bin out. Soft tally. That one's too short. That one's too short. There we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 bins out. Yeah, sound module. Yeah. We don't want the wire cutting the feed before we see the move. Oh, the wife. Oh, no. We'll be good. We got time. Much as I might doubt myself on a daily basis, I got about 45 minutes. I got about 40 minutes. I can make this move in 40 minutes. I shouldn't have said that out loud. But we're already there. All that really matters is what's the eye to eye on this. It's like 66. You know what the beauty of that is? I just removed a drive shaft. Okay. Our chances are like 1 in 5 that this home confuzzled drive shaft will both fit and not hit the motor. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in business. Have to go early today. Mr. Spain, it's 2:50. We wrap up about 3:30 every week. I mean, it's a soft ceiling. I think we just installed drive shafts. Now, see, the hundreds, The hundreds are not. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. This Gearbox wants offset pumpkin. This Gear 7 wants offset pumpkin. Y'all are going to see it. Y'all are going to see that we're going to tank turn this thing. That's just how it is. Will the quick view of the Sparc axles be on this? There's like a 5% chance of that happening. I'm pretty certain I can assemble an element. And not just an element, I can throw the unused I can throw Baseline's body on it. I can throw Baseline's racing body on it. I'm 95, so I'm 5% sure it'll be this. I'm 95% sure that I can build a fake Baseline to get these axles under. No, let's rescind that. 90%. There's another 5% chance I just do the thing that I didn't want to do in the first place and just like bolt these under Baseline. I really don't want to do that. I 99.9% don't want to do that. But I am also willing to acknowledge inevitabilities. User guide and reference. Steering fusion module should not be plugged into the receiver at this time. Power on your transmitter, power on your receiver. Set steering end limits to avoid damage. Well, yeah. Oh, okay. So they want me to put this thing together without the big dangly module connected. Okay. So we just bypass around it. So this goes into 2. We need to plug in, not that one, that one. And also, there's always the 5% chance of an electrical fire. So, you know, there's always that. So those don't be plugged in. They don't do B. None of that. This goes into here, which is good. I need to set my endpoints anyway. I've got a battery. Or do I? I had an 850 pack out that I used to check to see if the... Oh, I see it. I'm just, don't mind me. I'm just going to put a bin or two away because it's getting... Here, I can't believe... On the short list of things that I can't believe, I cannot believe that it did not occur to me that those desert lizards are hundreds and not 90s. Because those things are ruining the front end. Can't even navigate. Can't even navigate. It sounds like that's 105%, so I guess it'd catch fire. We're not math. We are not math. So yeah. It's like the risk of a cougar attack, It's never 0. Re-drill the skid and slide the box over a few millimeters. What are we moving? Yeah, that link. Okay, we're just going to set this up for extreme limitation. The links, that tie rod hits the shocks so badly. So badly. So honestly, I don't know what LCGs you'll be able to fit these Sparc axles on. don't like the look of that one. I've thrown away a lot of screws today. Nobody told me I need to do mathing. Yeah. That's not the worst I've ever seen. All right? So Panhard and Draglink are not parallel, but with the hundreds on here, that's the least of our worries. The shorter Draglink helps stop some of the droop. Like the hundreds can't even get to full droop, but we can get to full compression. This thing with these links, the caster loss and gain is not too bad. I mean, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. I know it sounds weird. You can feel the diffs, like when you tip in, there's like a resistance, and I can feel that resistance with no wheels on it. Oh my goodness. After we're done today, I am going to have an hour of just cleaning up unused fasteners. And because it's going to be the cab, the only body mount I need is the front one, and you can't mount it. But it's going to have these axles. It's getting the F10s that came off of Eddie. It's going to line that drive shaft up perfect. And there's a very strong chance every single link changed. No, not a strong chance. It is certain. It is 100% certain that every link will be changed. Yeah, it should sound pretty spicy. That's a 2000 kV on 3S, 10.5 reduction at the gearbox. And then if the axles have the same reduction as like an 830, 3.75 to 1, we're only looking at that 40-ish to 1 range, 40, 41. 10.5. Yeah, 39.4 to 1. So not a ton of reduction. This gearbox is probably better suited to portals, but it needs an offset pumpkin. So it would either be fake, those Capras off of AliExpress, or F10 portals. I need wheel nuts. They said make it move back and forth. We were going to make it move back and forth. Then we're going to hook the thing up. Redrill skid to run a center front diff with that box. For drive shaft clearance, looks like enough room. Oh, well, like I said, in the future, this is going to have an offset axle. So that clearance will be a non-issue. I grabbed the tires that I knew were on wheels. So deep woods on some remarkably soft inserts. That overall length doesn't look bad. We're looking okay. That is a this rig could be Charlie Brown, because we got the Great Pumpkins on here. It's the Great Pumpkins, Charlie Brown. Let me do a little crouch. See how this thing sits. How are we sitting? What are we sitting like? You know what? It's not bad. It's really skid forward. We've got a nice breakover angle. The double bend of using 2 tie rods, not too bad. A ridiculous amount of flex on 90s in the rear because those links are so long. An absurdish amount of flex in the front because we've got hundreds. The ground clearance doesn't look that terrible, honestly. 30, I'd go 36 millimeters, and the front has a skid under it. The rear doesn't, but because the rear's at an angle, we've only got about 30 on the rear. I feel like the spark drive should have been put on a portal. I don't know if there was a reason that they didn't. I don't know. I found some AR-45P on an app called Temp for $45 a whole set. Oh. Yeah, AR-40 pumpkins look red cap big. They're not that vertical, but they are ludicrously wide. Yeah, see how it'll fall that far on that side, but then the drag link holds it to a 90 millimeter length. We got the front geometry set up okay with 90s. Perfect. I challenge anyone that that's not perfect. Okay. Of course, I set my endpoints, and the steering is backwards. That servo, that the OMG, it does not sound healthy. Are we jacking a little on this side? A little bit? Okay. So now we got to reset endpoints again. But I hadn't put any actually, I'll just flip it. I'll flip it. We will foolishly assume linearity. It's not bad. I think the motor is not calibrated and it is backwards because it feels very smooth and responsive backwards, and it feels like forward. So let us do this. This is the fun stuff. Oh, let's make sure we reverse throttle channel. It is. Okay. Now it should go backwards, I'm thinking. No. Oh, that's much better. Perhaps it was just whatever I tested it with before was calibrated in reverse. Because that feels strong. That feels strongly okay. Okay. Technical background, control, logic. Did that. Now that the steering is calibrated, we can connect the steering fusion control module. Connect the battery ESC plug adapter to your ESC and tightly wrap this connection with the included retaining tape so that the adapter stays in your ESC when the battery is unplugged. Connect the power regulator to this adapter. What? White dotted wire goes to receiver's steering signal. Notched end goes to front servo signal wire. Okay. All right. So I got to read that again. White dotted wire goes to receiver's steering signal, which is right there. Notched end goes to front servo signal wire, usually white or orange. Okay, so what's the yellow wire? what's the yellow wire? What? What's the yellow wire? I'm just rereading the same thing that I've read. Okay, so tank turn is automatic. Okay, direct mode. So, did it say on the box? Yes, SA10X. So these are the top. Do not connect yellow. I have no idea what this does. On SA10X models, if your radio has an extra channel that's controlled by either a proportional input or a 3-position switch, the yellow wire may be plugged into that channel on your receiver to activate a direct mode session. A direct mode session supersedes all torque vectoring and 360 tank turn logic, giving the driver full control of differential rates at all times, regardless of vehicle speed or steering angle. The steering fusion module will check for a valid signal on the yellow wire at startup, so you got to have it plugged on when you turn it on. So apparently you can plug it into this, and then you can adjust how much it has. Yeah, we're not plugging the yellow thing in. We're gonna save it for later. Well, I'm never let you down. So while I was looking for a battery strap here a moment ago, do y'all remember when all DSM sold was like kinetic recovery ropes and other gewgaws and doodads? And now they don't sell those at all, which is strange to me. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to try to keep as much stuff out of the whirling outrunner as possible. That's our goal. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert the battery strap upside down. Okay, then we're gonna cram this stuff in. Because I said tank turn. I didn't say safely. I didn't say intelligently. I just said we were going to do it. Like, where am I supposed to put all of these wires? Be honest. Okay, I think we might, I think it might require more than one battery strap. Yeah, I think if we get two, another Vanquishy strap. I'm old enough to remember when Amazon sold books. They still sell books. Mostly audiobooks, sure, but I think it's looking great. I think it's looking great. Oh no, zip ties is too semi-permanent. Battery strapping. And then one more. Can we find another Vanky? Yeah. Vanquish straps are too long for like most anything, so Only the finest. Yeah. I mean, look at the front suspension. It's mushed. It's mushy mushed. Okay. All right. Here we go. Moment of truth. Okay, it made a bunch of noises. Okay. Tank turn on low grip surfaces. Tank turn mode automatically engages when the vehicle is at a complete stop and the steering remains centered for several seconds. The short delay can be adjusted in the settings, or it can be set to infinite, which enables tank turn mode altogether. An audio tone will indicate when the steering mode is engaged. That's the baboop. We definitely heard that. While in 360 tank turn mode, left and right steering inputs are redirected to the differential control motors to command a zero radius turn. When forward or reverse vehicle movement is detected beyond a rollout threshold, tank turn will deactivate, returning the vehicle to normal steering. I'm not 100% clear on what that means. That leads me to believe, like, okay, so this should just go straight. Okay, so now, wait, okay, hold on. Let's take away Maddie. Maybe Mr. Mattson is too grippy. Okay. So that leads me to believe that when we do this, okay. I mean, we're doing it. Oh, okay. All right. When these got out onto the Masonite, yeah, really. Okay, hold on. You'll have bear with me for a second. I don't know if I do, but I might have a bigger piece of Masonite. Also, does anyone else think that the rear axle is rotating much faster than the front axle? You all notice that? I didn't know that tank turn. See, and this is, yeah, it's just the steer. And any throttle input will cancel it. This 2000 on this is very zippy. So if it it detects that there's a bind, it automatically, you'll hear it go boop boop, and it will come out of tank mode. I mean, we obviously question the utility of this. But at the same time, it would be impossible to deny the cool factor of it. When you hear the boop boop, you're like, oh yes. I just want to do this. Oh, wait. So we'll see if you can hear. Bleep. My scissors! I had to use some. Yeah. What is the utility of this? Now, was there some part of me less than secretly and or silently hoping for what a G-Wagon can do? How it can just, like, do a tornado in a circle? So it's kind of a one-trick pony. Well, that's the thing. We're definitely going to have to see this, like, assembled correctly on a chassis that it fits, with the correct length shocks all the way around. But I promised a tank turn. Waiting for it. Waiting. There it is. Also, the tank turn is like opposite. So I'm pushing right, which makes it, I guess that's swinging right. But then when you give throttle and it hops out, then it's steering the opposite direction. So there's really a moment where you're like, huh? What? Yeah, they'll never allow this in competition, for sure. Oh, ads, yes. Okay. Hey, you know what will work? I think you already know the answer, everybody. I was trying to find a 5th Vanquish strap, but we're going to have to go with an unbranded one. How about something that's probably of approximately similar weight? Oh, I got a 1500 over here somewhere. I got a 1500 4S pack. I must have put it away. Okay. Okay, now how am I going to strap that? I had an idea. Just don't know how fleshed that idea was at the time. I need 1 unit of weight. Battery strap's too short for that. I can't strap pyrethrin to it. We just need some Mias knuckles. It's closer. Also, when you saw it just drop down right there, it there's this right here. It keeps dropping off of there. We're not really giving it enough room. Okay. Is that gonna bump the wall? Yeah, that's closer. There it goes. Also, okay. No, nobody's hollering it, but they should be. I think the biggest issue that we're having right here is that these deep woods with the super soft 3D printed inserts are simply providing too much grip. So yeah, we're getting a 3 for here, if anything. I feel pretty positive about this chassis. I feel like we might get something out of this once it's, set up correctly on axles that fit it. Also, I still think at this juncture that this is a novelty. Here's my thinking on that, because it said it in a little blurb. I think the intention with this is to scale this up, like to make it for side by sides or something. That would be my guess. because you could get the mechanism a lot smaller. It won't scale directly. They won't have a 2.5-foot pumpkin. So we'll get the slipperiest tires we can get our hands on. Yeah, this chassis just does not like a center pumpkin. Yeah, more like watermelons. Yeah, Miata Commuter is right. They are not pumpkins. Oh, baby. We may well get the world's first full Starsky. This may be a full Starsky. Okay, gotta wait for the boop. Oh, listen to it. It's majestical. There's so little grip in the Hustlers, it's trying to fall off the bench backwards. God, I hope the mic is picking that up. It's like being on ice. Tires shouldn't make that noise. Tires shouldn't make that noise. You have to be able to hear that, right? It has to be doing the. I can't get the mic. The mic it'd be quicker to pick it up and turn it around. I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah. So the higher the weight, it's full tank turn mode now. But it's got to be 20 seconds for a full turn. Also, I'm wondering, this will be the most interesting part to find out when it's on something that is capable and correct. I mean, no, that had to be over 30 seconds. Boom Racing Hustlers never disappoint in being just the most terrible things. Can you change the wheel speed so the front spins faster than the rear? That's an excellent question, because on one of the pages of Manual 2, steering fusion, which is active torque vectoring, has 6 steps of range. Speed-sensitive steering, tank turn delay, calibrate rollout threshold, mode switching audio tone. Rollout threshold has 32 steps. The threshold controls the rollout distance before canceling a tank turn and switching back to normal steering. Decrease this value to reduce rollout distance. The default value is 2 out of 32. OD on the gearbox? I don't know. It has some. It has some. One gear is definitely bigger than the other. It looked like. Could have just been, well, you know what? I hadn't tried it with drive shafts on it. There's definitely some. Can it tell if it's on the ground? No, it can't tell if it's on the ground or not. It is weird to see the tires turning and the drive shaft not turning. Oh no, the fronts are definitely moving slower. I can tell where the motor is, but it's not like it's not building up heat. I can just tell that the motor's that it's building up. Also, I mean, my God, look at that front drive shaft angle. These are not the axles. These are not the axles for that. If you're gonna get some Sparc axles, do not try to put them on this. I think we got to a place. We've got about a couple more before we drop 15,000 frames. So we'll keep. I'll keep stumbling along until we've dropped our full 15,000. But like, I'm gonna sort out the parts to put together an element. Just like literally, I'm gonna see if I can dig through the bins and put together enough to build an enduro that fits a baseline body, that fits an SE body. You can just slap a 1200 on it. It's got big side skirts on it, so it'll give me plenty of place to put the wiring. And I mean, you know, ignoring what it costs. So it's 16 seconds for a 180. Somebody timed it. Yeah, so a full tank turn. Yes, it seems a little quicker now with the weight off. But yeah, it is. There is certainly a novelty. Yeah. The utility of this is yet to be seen. So, what? Here's the steering angle is worse than terrible because, like, look at the angle the shock is laid down in the front. So the behind the axle steering is hitting the shock badly. So we can't even get it to lock. Now, there's less steering angle than an element axle. Element axles have a lot of steering angle, but these don't have universals on them. These have CVDs. So the CVDs are going to take away steer angle. As it sits right now, if I were to take this out and try to do some sort of a test on it right now, oh my God, the turning circle when not in tank turn mode would be like 15 feet because, oh wait, we gotta, first to show steering angle, we have to do this, and then we do this. It's like 30 degrees, 35 degrees. Some of that is because the shocks, I think the CVDs will get out to about 40 degrees. Basically, to make it useful, you would have to set that tank turn delay down real slow. I mean, real low, to like milliseconds, to where you stop, it goes beep boop, and then you can whoop, and then power through. As it sits now, like, I don't have anything negative to say about the Sparc axles at all. They definitely do this. But, like, isn't it supposed to be much shorter due to inside wheel will go slower and outside wheel will go faster? Yeah. Now, I don't know how much torque vectoring is taking place. Okay, that 180, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting used to it, but that 180 felt faster. Yeah, what the things I really want to see, I want to see this thing, what does it look like on rocks? Oh, man. Do not run these with some 445s. We will just look at the size of that is a dumper. That thing has got all the junk. Ignore this. Ignore this. This thing has got all that junk inside that trunk. That is something. Alphonse! I don't know. I don't know. It is definitely, it needs to be seen. It remains to be seen. Yeah. It's basically, I don't know how well this thing is going to work on most any LCG, any flat plate chassis. I think this thing was designed to go under C channels, and I think we're gonna have a lot less problems. And the beauty of it is, I've got right under the desk, right under this bench, right behind me, I've got an Enduro build manual. I can source all the links. I can build an Enduro out here in about 2 hours. And I'm just going to, it's going to look exactly like Baseline. Except minus bumpers. I'll probably put some Vanquish bumpers under it. But, it's the most oddball looking axle you've ever seen. Did Camo Crawler just show up? Has he not seen these before? I don't. Here, all right. Here's the long and the short of it. Here at the Midwest Goodbye. We're over a couple minutes. Here's the long and the short of it. That is this. Let's go wide. That is this. I can't see a situation where the utility of this outpaces the simplicity of just an axle. You know what I mean? If Baseline pulls up side by each next to this, I don't see the Sparc axles doing anything specifically other than its party trick that Baseline can't do. That's the thing. That's the thing. So, yeah, I mean, I think that this is much like the guy down in the LA area that's 3D printing supercars. He uses AI to generate these crazy shapes, and then they 3D print out of metal. They completely 3D print these cars. And it has this adaptive AI that knows how to make like a lower control arm that is as thin yet as strong, because it looks at nature, and all of the parts inside the cars look super organic. The guy only intends to make like 20 cars because the money isn't in the cars. The money is in that tech. And I think that's what we're looking at here. I think that I think the Sparc, what do they call them? The Sparc Drive SA10XR, I think that this is a proof of concept brought to life in 10th scale. I can see the versatility of this way more in a full size, like in a side-by-side, than I can in this. Because as somebody had just pointed out, dig. Just dig. They needed to be portals. Nothing like this. This is neat. But dig will do that too. So, not too much judgment here. They do the thing. Even with the also any steering woes, we don't know, because remember the zombie OMG. We don't know what that OMG is actually doing. I've got a sealed in the package Amazon Blue Case 35 kg that will be going in the Baseline clone, the zombie Baseline, because we'll okay. Here's what it is. You're gonna tune in a couple days, and virtually nothing that you see right here will you see then, except for these axles and the little control module. We'll be doing a different motor, a different servo, a different everything, because to test this thing fairly, I have to put it in an element. So I will source rails and servo mount and everything, and we will baseline it, because I've got to find a servo mount and a panhard and all of that, because we can't run servo on axle. So tomorrow I will spend time building another baseline, zombie baseline, so that we can test it as it's meant to be tested, and then we will take it apart, put it back in the box, and move on with our day. This is super neat. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't, you know, I don't see this as it sits right now. It could do something on the rocks that makes me go, what? Oh, this is definitely this is definitely this kind of zombie. I can't see this thing doing anything on the rocks that makes me go, whoa. You know, ignoring the cost, ignoring that we're dealing with what is a proof of concept of future tech. How many crawlers could you build without ordering anything? Realistically, 3. I would say 3. Like right now, including this one. I have enough stuff to build a temporary baseline. He's definitely going to be a zombie baseline, because he's not going to stay assembled. Oh, you can't half track it. Traxxas tracks are designed very specifically to fit TRX4 axles. I wonder if higher voltage in the servo will get more power. I don't know. Also, I don't know what the charge level is on this. Yeah, we're at 3.8. That battery's almost dead. So it should be a little more. We'll be a little more when we run this thing. Hopefully. We'll see. So what we got to do, we got to say goodnight to our sweet zombie prince. He can moonwalk. But this is one of those things that definitely falls into that classification of but at what cost. Both cost in terms of what it will cost you to buy the system, and at what cost in terms of what you're sacrificing to get the cool thing. Yeah, the wife is probably wondering. I haven't gotten a text yet. Wait, let me check. I haven't gotten a text yet, so that means that we haven't gone too far over yet. I'm over a little. I'm over about 10 minutes. So yeah, we will. Oh, I did use 4 straps. Yeah, all right. Okay, so everything you saw here was just for this. The only people that got to see this was the very select handful of you that got to watch this, because the next time any of this stuff appears, those axles will be on a completely different vehicle, and the thing that the axles are mounted under right now will be completely different. Every link different, different servo, different everything. The bodies to these guys probably won't be here for, I think they say mid-week, like Wednesday. So, I mean, I know that's short term to a lot, but to me, I feel like, waiting. Yeah, an assumption, yeah. I really enjoyed the live action One Piece. It was good. It kept a lot of the One Piece nonsense, but it moved us quick. I liked that. All right. Oh yeah, there was an unboxing. Yeah. I will change the title to Sparc Axle something. Maybe I can. We'll see how it works. I will change the title of the live stream to include Sparc Axle unboxing, moonwalk, and everything. And we'll see if that lures people in. I guess it was somewhat successful in luring some of you folk in. The Midwest Goodbye winds down slowly. I do thank you all so very much for coming and joining us here in the canyon. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. We hope that in between now and when we meet again, you one and all do your very best to have a good one, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here for these shenanigans. You royal, loyal few, the only ones who got to see a vehicle be built in this configuration. He never even got a name. The little zombie never even got a name, because he will be a different thing, and these will be in a different place, and everything will be different. Sparc Axles doing tank things. You know what? That's just the name of the live stream. Mr. Spain named it Sparc Axles doing tank things. Thanks, everybody. I had a good one. I hope you all had a good one. We are going to... I'm not doing nothing. It's sitting on Hustlers. I don't even have to put him up on a block. I'm just going to leave it there, and I'll come out in the morning, and I'll pick it up where I left off. So, thanks so much. We'll see you next time. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. We'll see you next time, everybody.